I need you to lower your expectations.
Just a hair, okay. I'm going to read from my novel, the title of which is Real Life, which is a very ambitious title. For the first time in what feels like days, Wallace is alone, but not entirely so, because his apartment still smells like Miller. It's faint, barely there, but Wallace can smell him in the air, that scent like lake water and tangy citrus. There's also the scent of beer, which Wallace does not drink, hanging around. His bedroom smells like their bodies, their sex, their sleep, and he contemplates washing out the sheets. But there isn't much time before he's due at the dinner thing, especially if he's going to make something, which he must, as he wasn't invited until the last minute, and it would be rude to show up empty-handed. He leaves the bed a mess, crumpled and wrinkled white sheets, the gray comforter tossed back. He had risen from that bed this morning and left Miller sleeping there, hadn't stayed to watch Miller emerge from sleep because there had been the mess in the lab to clean up. He regrets this now, a soft bitterness to chew on for the rest of the night. In the kitchen, he surveys the contents of the freezer. Some chicken breast, ground beef, fish, a variety of frozen vegetables, a pizza, some ice trays. The cold feels good on his face, which is still a little flushed from tennis and from the walk along the lake back here. He leans into the freezer and breathes it in, lets it settle inside of him like a private tundra to get him through. The thing about the dinner is that his friends and their friends seldom eat meat. There are typically many different vegetable dishes, many different casseroles of beans and pasta and cheeses and long green stalks and quinoa and peas and nuts and jams and berries and grains. Once, early on in his time here, he had made a dish of Swedish meatballs, the way his aunts had made for gatherings. Dark meat and onion and pepper and garlic and rich sauce made from scratch, from cinnamon and cumin and vinegar, hickory and brown sugar, all in a Nordic-themed dish that he had purchased at a thrift store. He stood on the front porch just out of the rain, balancing the warm dish on his arms, trying to smile through his nerves. In those days, Ingva and Alec and Lucas had lived together in a house just outside of downtown in one of the few residential neighborhoods that remained, the way they do in some college towns, where the barrier between the city and what used to be the town out of which the city emerged turns hazy and porous, and it is possible, if you stand on one street and look down it, to see the progression of time. The shutters, the porches, the white columns, broad windows, porch swings, lemonade on banisters, or tea slowly steeping on wicker tables, homes that in another time contained families, but now which contain the mismatched furniture and chipped dishes that had come to signify their lives, they who had so freshly emerged from undergrad or grad school, their adulthood as wet as moths' wings. When the door had swung open, it had not been one of his friends, but a girl who Ingva was sort of interested in seeing at the time, tall and brunette, from Arizona or some other dry place beneath noticing. She had taken one look at the meatballs, wrinkled her nose, then had asked him if he was lost or needed something. Ingva had explained it all later with an arm wrapped around Wallace's neck, laughing in his ear. Sorry, he had said, but you know she's like vegan, so... Wallace had tried not to look disappointed when he'd collected his dish of uneaten meatballs at the end of the night, had tried not to think of how much money he'd spent and the time in the kitchen, wiping sweat, toweling away brown stains from his hands, trying to get it exactly right, trying to make the sauce perfect for them. And the little dish, he'd been so proud of the little dish, red with white reindeer leaping, not Swedish or anything, but close, on a theme he had hoped. Oh.